Hi, my name is Muhammad ANDRI and my matrix number is A208269. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for this company. Now, I will explain to you about what is financial management and the objective of financial management to a company. What is financial management? Financial management is a planning, organizing, directing a company financial activities such as a procurement and use of cash. It entails applying general management, any ideas to the company financial resource. Solid financial management enables the CEO or VP of finance to give the data that aids in the development, a long-term strategy, inform investment decision and provide insight into how to fund those investment, liquidity, profitability and cash runaway, among other things. Now, moving on to the objective of the financial management. The objective can be to ensure the consistency and appropriate source of cash of the organization to secure the appropriate returns to the shareholder. Lastly, a plan of solid capital structure, which is a capital should be composed in a sound and equitable manners so that the balance between the debt and equity capital is maintained. Now, I will give this presentation to the General Manager and the Human Resource Management for them to explain about the business nature of the company.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syed Muhammad bin Syed MAHDZAR. So I am the General Manager of AIMAN company. So basically, AIMAN started the cargo business as a small-scale business, which only handled cargo and micro distribution in Malaysia in 1975. The entire service package offered by AIMAN include cargo categorization, private insurance, custom duty, substantial customer expertise, and customized EDI invoice submission. Next, AIMAN also provides hauling and transportation service. Furthermore, we also provide crane service at the required custom checkpoint.
Hello, my name is SHAHRUM. My matric number is A208273. My job in this company is Human Resources Management. So we will move to the next company. The next company is about Complete Logistics Service Berhad. The Complete Logistics Service Berhad covers several sides of survey and logistics industry, such as marine transportation, land transportation, warehousing service, and forwarding service. In the marine transportation service, have ship owner and operator, conventional or breakbulk shipping, project shipping, heavy lift or over-dimensional cargo transportation, and door-to-door delivery. Next, they have land transportation, like container outlets, truck transport for general freight, bulk carrier or tanker transportation of bulk cement, limestone powder, fly ash, and other service will supply. Next, they have warehousing service. Warehouse will be rented and the size of the warehouse that will rent are based on the price they request. Lastly, they have forwarding service, like custom brokerage and paperwork, freight space booking, freight insurance, delivery control, transportation coordinator, warehousing, and partial withdrawal. So my part is ended. So I will pass the next part for the SITI NURSYAHIRA.
Okay, thank you, Shah. Next, I will continue my part. Before that, I will introduce myself. I am SITI NURSYAHIRA binti RADHUAN. My matric number A20A1990 as your financial manager. Okay, I will explain the part of ratio. The first one is current ratio, which is under liquid ratio. The current ratio of AIMAN has dropped from 0.89 2019 till 0.93 2020, and it has increased to 1.11 2021. It means the year 2019 is shown that the company performance was better in the last 3 years, as the current liability of the company was in increasing rate till now, still incapable to meet its obligation in last 3 years. In 2019, Complete Logistics Service Berhad had 2.87 of current asset. It increased to 9.00 in 2020 and then decreased to 3.17 in 2021. The second ratio is debt ratio. Under capital structure ratio, the debt ratio of Teonam has increased from 2.11% 2019 to 2.63% in 2021, and it increased become to 2.97% in year 2021. This shows that the company has more asset than debt because the debt ratio value is more than 1.00 from 2019 to 2021. The debt ratio of complete logistics at 2019 is 0.21%, and 2021 which is 0.19%. Then in 2021 increased to 0.23%. Okay, next, the account receivable ratio of Teonam has going upward from 2.42 times in 2019 to 3.25 times in 2020 and decreased back to 2.83 times in 2021. The account receivable turnover of complete logistics has increased from 3.66 times in 2019 to 5.69 times in 2020 and decreased back in 2021, which is about 3.47 times. Okay, next, fixed asset turnover, which is under asset management efficient ratio. The fixed asset turnover of Teonam has lower than 1, that is 0.43 in 2019, 0.40 in 2020, and 0.37 in 2021. This shows that Teonam has been effectively utilized investment in fixed asset to generate revenue throughout the 3 years. The fixed asset turnover of complete logistics is increased from 0.95% in 2019 to 1.04% in 2020. The fixed asset turnover is decreased in 2021, which is about 0.28. The last is gross profit margin. The gross profit margin of Teonam has increased slowly, which is 0.17% in 2019 to 0.19% in 2020 and slowly decreased to 0.18% in 2021. This shows that Teonam unable to produce a goods at low cost with high sale as it is not consistent. The gross profit margin for complete logistics is decreased from 0.18% in 2019 to 0.17% in 2020 and decreased in 2021, which is 0.12%. Okay, next I will pass to Fatin FAQIHAH binti Zakaria to continue the next part.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Fatin FAQIHAH binti Zakaria and my nominee is A28139. I hold the position of Financial Assistant Manager. Let me show this slide graph in vertical ratio analysis for Teonam Holdings Berhad and Complete Logistics Service Berhad. The vertical axis show the analysis ratio in financial statement from 2019 to 2021. The x-axis label indicates the total analysis ratio and y is the type of ratio. In 2019, a comparison of debt to equity ratio and inventory turnover in Teonam company is 1.651 times and 2.48 times, higher than complete company, which the ratio is 0.271 times and 0.06 times. Meanwhile, fixed asset turnover for Teonam company, which is 0.43 times, is below than complete logistic company, which is 0.64 times. For the ratio of return on equity of Teonam company is above the complete company. We can see the ratio for Teonam is 1.47%, while for complete is 0.95%. And then for gross profit margin, Teonam companies have 0.17% and complete company have 0.18%. These two companies had almost the same amount in 2019. 2020, the debt-to-equity ratio for complete logistics is 0.238 times lower than the debt-to-equity ratio for Tionam Company, which is 1.797. The inventory turnover of Tionam is 2.46 times higher than the complete logistics company, which is 0.21 times. For fixed asset turnover ratio in Tionam Company is 0.40 times lower than complete company, which is 0.49 times. And for ratio return on equity, Tionam rose up to 3.68%. Meanwhile, ratio in complete company is 1.04%. Same with 2019, the ratio gross profit margin almost had the same amount of ratio, which is for Tionam is 0.19% and for complete company is 0.70%. Financial analysis show the highest debt-to-equity ratio and inventory turnover in 2021 are from Tionam Company. This ratio is 1.650 times for debt-to-equity ratio and 2.45 times for inventory turnover, while the ratio for complete company is 0.302 times for debt-to-equity ratio and 0.02 times for inventory turnover. The ratio fixed asset turnover in Tionam Company above complete company, which is the ratio is 0.37 times in Tionam Company and 2.20 times in complete company. And then, for ratio return on equity, complete company become the highest one than Tionam Company. Gross profit margin for complete company is 0.12% lower than Tionam Company, which is 0.18%. Thank you. I will pass this presentation to Muhammad Hafizuddin bin Ishak, which is the marketing manager.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Hafizuddin bin Ishak and my matrix number is A208164. My job position at this company is marketing manager. Now, I want to talk about the recommendation. The first point is observe overhead expenses. Keep observe on the company overhead expenses, for which expenses they have incurred such as rental expenses, labor, insurance costs, utilities and more in order to be able to estimate overhead expenses. Second point is changing the debt method from short-term debt toward long-term debt. This is because in terms of monthly payment and interest rate, long-term debt can provide an advantage to small enterprise. When a company achieves a higher interest rate, the company's debt will decrease and the cost of debt will decrease. The third point is obtain financial management consulting to ensure that the finance run smoothly and can make a profit in the business. Next point is seek advice from experts who are skilled in helping to manage financial statement. And the last point is handle excess asset properly. It would be wiser to just dispose of them for whatever they grow or sell them or get a profit. When surplus assets are sold, it will cause the cash balance to increase after the sale, depreciation is removed, and the ratio will improve. That's all from me. I will pass the next part to Muhammad AIMAN. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad AIMAN bin Muhammad SABRI and my matrix number is A208170. My job and my position in this company is production manager. So in this presentation, I would like to talk about my part is there is a conclusion. In conclusion, we can conclude that financial ratio analysis is critical for comparing items in financial statements for all companies worldwide and is used to evaluate various aspects of entities, including liquidity, profitability, activity, and leverage ratio. According to the above ratio analysis table that we have made, complete logistic service Berhad earns more net profit margins annually 91% in 2019, 293% in 2020 and 137% in 2021. Then Tionam Logistic Holding Berhad earns 12% in 2019, 8% in 2020 and 72% in 2021. Complete Logistics Service Berhad has higher profit margin indicates a more profitable company that has better control compared with Tiong Nam Logistics Holding Berhad. Other than that, the equity ratio for complete logistics service Berhad is 0, and the ratio of equity for Tiong Nam Logistics Holding Berhad is 0.036. So, for the future prospect of the two companies, and can also be used as a reference to our company. Also, based on current or future economic conditions, both company needs to keep an eye on overhead expenses, and both companies should monitor the expenses they have incurred, such as expenses on rent, labor, insurance costs, utilities, and many more. Both companies can also seek advice from experts who are skilled in helping them to manage their financial statements.